As you probably know, if you want to get in shape, if you want to achieve a toned, lean, fit, strong body, if you were going to the gym and what you were doing in there has a massive impact on that. If you want to achieve a body where you feel confident taking your top off or putting your bikini on holiday and you look the dog's bollocks, you want to look like someone that actually goes to the gym, you want to be able to get ready for a night out and feel like you look great. You want to achieve that, you need to actually be going to the gym, but you need to know what you're actually doing in the gym as well. Because most people actually do the hardest part, turning up to the gym each week. But what a lot of people skip is taking the time to learn what they should and shouldn't be doing in there. Because let's face it, you probably work full time, you've got busy social weekends, you want to be making sure that the limited time you have every single week, the limited time that you've got to spend in the gym, you are maximizing that time in there and you're getting what I call more return on investment from your time in the gym. So what we're going to go through in today's video is the top 6 mistakes which everybody is making in the gym. So they are never getting closer to their goals. They're not doing what they should be doing in the gym for their goals. And they actually eventually stop going to the gym because of the lack of progress they are making in their sessions. So if you are new here, I am Jack Rivers and I own Coach by Jack Rivers, which is an online physique development coaching service. And we help people achieve a toned, lean body in a way which is easy and seamless to migrate into their daily and weekly routine. We've been in business for nearly 7 years now, and I feel dead old saying that. Past 4 years, I've been doing it full time. I've got hundreds of transformations, hundreds of positive reviews, and I've not been sued yet. Yet being the key word there. But before we actually head into these 6 points, if you want a more hands-on program to follow, which is not only going to look after what you were doing in the gym, but what you were doing with your nutrition, giving you an example meal plan, recipe folder, what habits you should be sticking to outside of the gym to achieve a lean, toned, fit body. If you want more of a hands-on program to cater for exactly that, first link in the description is a link to my rapid fat loss program, which is going to show you the simplest, not the easiest, because it's not easy for anybody, but the simplest and the most effective way for you to get down to 15% body fat, which should be your goal right now, okay? So if you want to get your hands on that, first link in the description, you can get access completely for free. So let's get the elephant out the room. A lot of people have misconceptions and misunderstandings of what an actual gym workout should look like for them. A lot of people feel like sweating more equals more fat loss. If that would be the fucking case, then every time I'm sat there on public transport on holiday sweating my tits off, I would be ripped out my head. Honestly, it doesn't work like that. That is a completely different system in the body. More sweating doesn't equal more fat loss. How ridiculous does that sound even saying it? People feel like they need to leave the gym like a raw-off Fiat Punto, and they're walking out the gym and they can barely walk, the legs are shaking, they're sore for weeks afterwards. That's not what you should be expecting to achieve in the gym. A lot of people feel like soreness is a good sign of a good workout. So if they wake up the next day, they're like, am I sore? And if they're not sore, they feel like they've not trained properly the day before. That just isn't the case. And a lot of people will go to the gym doing these wanky exercise classes, or adult PE, I like to call it, where they're jumping about doing star jumps, step up, squat jumps, like what the fuck is next? Cartwheels. Them types of workouts are not going to get you the results that you're after. So in this video, we're going to go through what is going to get you the results you're after. So weight training is a must for yourself. I don't want to hear about, I'm not confident in the gym, or I've never done it. Your job, if you don't just want to lose weight, but you want to build a lean, strong, fit body, you have to get confident with weight, because we know that your goal is to not just lose weight on the scales. If it was, then you'd be at Slimming World, Weight Watchers, you'd be at all these weight loss clubs, but it's not. You actually don't just want to lose weight, you want to drop fat, build muscle in them key areas, and build a strong, toned, lean body. That is your goals at the moment, whether you were 25, or you were 45, whether you piss sitting down or piss standing up, or man or woman, it doesn't matter. You should learn, and your first job in the gym should be to get confident with training with weights. That's the only way you are going to build a toned, lean, fit body. What I found works best for most people with day-to-day problems and day-to-day circumstances is 3 to 4 times a week in the gym. It doesn't need to be anything magic. You just need to pick 5 to 7 exercises, 2 to 3 sets for each exercise, 3 to 4 times a week, and you're going to get some really good results. An example workout plan would be, if you can train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you could do full body, upper body, lower body. If you could train 4 days a week, you could do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You could do upper, lower, upper, lower. If you could only train 3 days a week, again, you could do 3 full body sessions. There's tons of different routes that you can take. You just need to pick one and actually stick to it. Let your nutrition, your habits, your diet tracking, whatever you were doing outside of the gym, let all that take care of the fat loss. With the limited time you've got per week to train, I don't want you to be worried about fat loss in the gym. When you're in the gym, you need to be worrying about building muscle. You're trying to create a toned, lean physique, and you're not going to do that by doing shit tons of cardio, sticking to the treadmill, or going to these wanky PE classes. A lot of people have a misconception on how much you need to do in the gym each week to see results. Research shows that you only need between 6 and 12 sets per body part per week to see muscle growth. So what that should tell you is you don't need to be going in the gym and doing 10 sets of squats or 10 sets on the tricep extension. You just need to do between 6 and 12 working sets per body part per week, and you will get fantastic results. The next point I want to go through is training intensity, and I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, just from what I've done myself to get in this shape and what I've done with clients when I've coached them through the process, is a lot of people just don't train hard enough in the gym. No one ever built a solid physique, a physique that people looked at and thought, they definitely go to the gym, a physique where they're happy taking their kit off because they're lean, they've got low body fat, they've got a lot of muscle mass. No one ever built a physique that looks like that by training to mild discomfort. You need to be training hard in the gym. Every single set that you finish, you want to be in your head thinking, I didn't really have any more reps left in the tank there. In your head, you want to think, actually, I've trained till failure there and I couldn't have done another rep. That is your sign that that was a productive set. You can do 20 sets of an exercise. You can do 20 sets of squats, right? But if you are only training to mild discomfort, you are leaving progress on the table. This is exactly what we did with my client, Stuart. He had a history of just going to the gym and going through the motions and just doing a few exercises and doing a few sets and calling it a day. But when we actually got a program knocked up for him, which worked around his schedule, he was going every single week, he knew exactly what exercises he was doing, how many sets he was doing for each exercise, and we taught him how to train with weights properly. He's seen much better results. He got leaner, he built muscle, and he's really starting to chip away at the physique that he wanted, which was toned, lean, and fit. And if you want to do exactly that, also in the description will be a link to my coaching website. So if you want to find out a bit more information on like how that works, what we do, you can hit the link in there if you want to find out some more info. Is there a magic rep range in the gym? A number that is commonly thrown about is like 8 to 12. 8 to 12 reps per exercise is the magic rep range, when actually research shows that anywhere between 6 and 30 reps on an exercise will elicit muscle growth. So you could be doing 25 reps to failure, you could be doing 8 reps to failure, and they'll both elicit muscle growth. However, we need to take fatigue into account. If you were doing 3 sets of 30 on the barbell deadlift, going to failure and training hard, chances are you'll be so fatigued that the rest of your session or the sessions in the next couple of days won't be to 100% of your capability. So my rule is for compound exercises, so exercises which are working multiple muscle groups with multiple active joints, so bench press, deadlifts, squats, leg press, overhead press, all of these things. Compound exercises, try and stick between 6 and 10 reps, even 6 to 12 reps, that's a good rep range to stick to. Then for isolation exercises, bicep curls, tricep extensions, side raises, calf raises, ab crunches, whatever, 8 to 15 is the sweet spot there. So you can go slightly higher reps with them. They're the rep ranges that I would generally recommend you stick to elicit muscle growth. And the last point I wanted to go through with you today is, what are the best muscle groups to train? Should you train full body? Should you train specific muscle groups? Are they muscle groups that we can put a bit more of an emphasis on to build the physique that we want? And I think that is absolutely the case. Obviously, we want to build muscle across the full body. Like, nobody wants a big upper body and super skinny legs. Hopefully my legs aren't in this frame. Nobody wants big thighs if they've got a small ass. So we need to be making sure that we're putting an emphasis across the full body, 100%, but there's nothing wrong with putting little focus points within your training program if you want to maximize the shape in which your body looks like. So for women, what I found works for them is training more back, triceps and glutes, because that's going to create that sculpted look. It's going to make your waist look a little bit smaller. And what I found is women do want a bigger ass. Women tend to want to grow the glutes a little bit more. Men, on the other hand, they again want to create that illusion that their waist is a lot smaller, but put a bit more of an emphasis on the arms, the chest, the shoulders, the lats as well, making sure we're creating that V taper. Lads, don't skip legs. Legs have a massive impact on that V taper as well. So making sure that you're building your quad muscles, your glutes, your hamstrings. Obviously, like I said, we're going to be making sure we're training and growing muscle across the full body, but you absolutely can put emphasis on certain muscle groups to prioritize that look that you want. So an example workout program for a woman, you could train full body Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On Monday, you could put a bit more emphasis on the glutes. On Wednesday, you could have put a bit more emphasis on your back and your triceps. And then Friday, you could have put a bit more emphasis on the glutes again. For men, if you could train 4 times a week, you could do upper body Monday, lower body Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday, do push and pull. And then you're putting more of your energy, more of your training towards the top line, the chest, the shoulders, and the arms. Obviously, there's endless combinations here that you could do. You just need to write down a plan, like we said at the start, however many days you can go to the gym, 5 to 7 exercises, 2 to 3 sets, making sure you're training hard, making sure you're training with intensity. Then once you're doing all of them, that's where you can start putting different focus points on your training and making sure you're building the body that you want to achieve. And that is these 6 things that I would focus on if I was trying to not just lose weight, but really build a toned, lean physique. Because as we've said there, all the points that I've went through there definitely have a place. You need to be making sure you're training with weights. You need to be making sure that you're training with intensity. You need to be making sure that you're doing enough sets per week and you're splitting up your sessions to what you want to focus on. All of them points have a massive impact on you achieving the body that you want or you not. But I do understand that what you were doing in the gym is just one piece of the puzzle. So like I said at the start of this video, if you want a bit more of a hands-on program to follow, which takes into account the nutritional side of things and your habits outside of the gym, first link in the description will be to my rapid fat loss program. So if you want to, get your hands on that and have a little bit of a read through it, that'll be the link in the description. And if you've got Instagram and you want more daily content like this, where I talk about all things fitness, nutrition, getting in shape on a daily basis, my Instagram will also be in the description as well. Thanks for tuning in and hopefully catch you in the next one.